Yeah.
Yeah, you were a multi-sport athlete in high school playing football as a quarterback. What led you to choose baseball and take your talents to Cal?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think growing up, I always envisioned myself playing football in college and, playing three sports in high school. Um, really just having those options was helpful once the college recruiting uh, process came around. And I think what led me to choose Cal was one, they saw value in the fact that I played football and basketball outside of baseball, um, which a lot of schools at first, like early on, I wasn't getting the look because I wasn't playing baseball year round. I wasn't going to every tournament, every showcase. I was pretty much just playing my high school sport, in whatever season that was. But the Cal coaches really loved the fact that I played multiple sports, and they liked the fact that, I was lifting with football and I was able to run and stay in shape with basketball, and then also play a high level on the baseball field as well, while getting maybe a third of the reps as all the other guys that played year round. And they took a chance on me because there wasn't a lot of film. I played 2 years of varsity. Um, like on the surface, playing multiple sports hindered my baseball, you know, getting recruited in baseball. Um, but I really believe that it helped me a ton. And they were like, hey, if you're at this level while getting this amount of reps and focusing on this, focusing on that, football, basketball, like we can work with you, and we can develop you as a player. So um, Cal was a dream school, and they gave me a chance for baseball, and yeah, just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So how important would you say it is for youth athletes in today's society to play other sports, not just stick with baseball? And, when would you say that time is to transfer over to one sport versus the other? Because you were kind of an anomaly. I don't know too many people that played three different sports in high school and got the opportunity to just stick with one and play at the highest Division 1 level possible.
Yeah, I would recommend play as many sports for as long as possible. Um, and for some people, it's different for everyone's situation. But like I played football through senior year, and then I quit basketball after my sophomore year, and then just played the two later on. But I think it's super important to play as many sports as possible. Like so many, at least in football, playing quarterback, I learned so many mental lessons on the football field that led me to, be mentally tough in baseball, which is necessary.
Mhm.
And being in those pressure packed situations where when you're the quarterback, all eyes really are on you. And similar to baseball, when you're in the batter's box or on the pitcher's mound, all eyes are on you. And if you just play, one sport year round, you're kind of missing out on other athletic experiences, but also life experiences. Like so had such a great time in high school, and honestly, my only regret of high school was quitting basketball
Mm.
um, 2 years too early. Like if looking back, like the Cal coaches didn't care if I played 2 more years of basketball, but in my head, I was like, oh, I should show them that I'm committed to baseball. Like I'll quit basketball so I can put more time into baseball. They didn't care.
Yeah.
And when you get to college, you realize these coaches care about you, but as long as you're just doing your thing, like they're gonna work about with you and worry about you when you get to the school.
Mhm.
Like if I played basketball those last 2 years or not, they weren't gonna care. And they probably didn't even think twice about it. But when you're younger, you think everything's such a huge deal. The coaches are watching your every step, which they're not, especially in high school. They're not. So I'd recommend just for life experiences, if you love other sports, play them. Um, and then for athletic experiences, just getting used to doing different movements, playing basketball, playing football, playing soccer. It doesn't matter what the sport is, surfing, like get into other things. And also, baseball was not my favorite sport. I never loved it, to be honest. I really liked it. I loved football. I loved basketball. It was my third favorite sport, but it was probably my best sport, and I was built for it. Like my body size, and and I'm grateful for it because it took me to where I wanted to go. It took me to Cal. It took me to Notre Dame. Um, but I really believe that playing all those sports gave me options. Like if I just played the sport that I loved, I would baseball. I wouldn't have played baseball.
Yep.
But the fact that I played multiple sports, even sports that I didn't necessarily love or want to put everything into, it took me to Cal. It took me to Notre Dame. So if you have guys like on your team that are thinking about other sports, like if they love baseball but they really like football, like play football. Maybe football is the one that gets you to the next level and gets you a great education for free. Like you just don't know what it's going to be. So I just think it's super important to do everything you can, and it's just way more fun. And there's
Yeah.
no you. The other thing I want to point out is it's so much harder to get burned out. Um, and you'll see once you get to college, as you know, it becomes a job, and it's great. It's I wouldn't change a thing, but like you put everything into that sport, and there's days where you're like, dang, like I'm burnt out. And I think playing multiple sports just keeps everything fresh, keeps everything fun, and you just meet so many more teammates, more people to leverage, and more people that will vouch for you when you are getting recruited.
For sure. Yeah, you harped on different sports and how it's important to play all three or just play as many as you can to, not get burned out. Let's talk about your experiences at UC Berkeley and Notre Dame. What was the biggest difference you noticed going from UC Berkeley on the West Coast to Notre Dame kind of on the East Coast and its cultural differences?
Yeah. Berkeley and Notre Dame couldn't be more opposite of schools politically, size, one's public, one's private. And then in terms of baseball specifics, Cal was, very the types of play. It just they recruited so much differently. It was, like the West Coast style is, super skilled, maybe not as big of players. Um, and then Notre Dame, like the guys were a lot bigger, a lot stronger. It was just a different style, different, different approach to everything, which was, which I'm super thankful. I got to see both ends of it. Like, no style is better, um, but it was good to see. And both the coaching styles were very different at Cal. The coaches were it was very pro style, very hands off. Like get your work in, like show up. We're not going to be watching every single second that you do. Like we're going to leave the cages and you guys do your thing. Show up. Like outfielders go hit in the cages for an hour. The coach may or may not be there. Versus Notre Dame was very regimented. Like this is what you're going to do, and you don't have much flexibility to do otherwise. Like it was just good to see different styles, and build some perspective, and that's when you really do find out like this is the type of style that I like, and this is what I don't like. But it was good to adjust. It's important to, for a lot of the players that will go on to high school, go on to college and pro, you have to be able to play for different types of coaches, play with different types of players, get along in the clubhouse with different types of guys. Um, so it was just very a good experience to diversify the types of people I'm playing with. And
Yeah, let's see. Looking back, what was the toughest moment or a really tough moment that you could remember from playing college baseball that has helped shape you to become the person you are today?
yeah, I'd say the toughest moment of my career was my sophomore year at Cal. So freshman year was COVID, so that got canceled, and then the fall season was canceled at Cal. Every other Pac-12 school was able to go back and practice except us. Um, so it was just at home working at a golf course, and everything. It was up to me to uh, put in like weightlift condition. Like I was waking up at 5:30 to condition just like we would have if we actually were at school. So I stuck to that routine, and it was the most motivated I've ever been. And it was the strongest I'd ever been, best shape I'd ever been in my life. And I was so pumped to go back to school and for that sophomore season. And then I get there and had a great, you know, 4 or 5 weeks of scrimmages before we went right into season. And then, it was pretty clear a week or two before, like I was not going to be a starter. Um, and then didn't play for probably the first 2, 3 weeks of the season. And it was clear that I was going to have to really grind in practice to even get an at bat. And it's not at all how I envisioned the season starting. But those 3 weeks were so tough because in COVID, baseball was the only thing we were allowed to do. We weren't allowed to go hang out with other people because of COVID. It was everything was baseball, and I sort of, without even knowing it, you put some of your self worth and all of your because that's where you're putting all your time. I put all my self worth into how I did on the field, and the fact that I wasn't playing it was really tough mentally. And I know multiple people that went through that years after that as well. And I know that's a struggle for a lot of athletes today. Um, but really just finding, sorry, I'm getting a call. There we go. Really, really just finding the peace and my worth outside of my performance on the field. So, like when I showed up to the field, it wasn't, I'll be happy if I have a good practice. It's, I'm already happy because I'm playing at my dream school and I'm on the team and I'm healthy. I'm playing a sport that I love. When I just made that mindset switch, I played it so much better and I was happier. I was enjoying everything. But like it was really tough. I was like, I want to quit. I really want to quit. Like after the season, I'm probably done. Like I said those words. I called my parents. I said, yeah, this is probably not for me. I'd rather just go walk on the football team. Um, had that conversation with my dad, and that was tough because I was so excited for that season. But when he kind of just flipped the mindset switch into what really matters and what's so awesome about just being able to play, being able to run, able to throw and play for Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, it doesn't matter the level, but play a collegiate sport. Um, it made me play better. And then eventually I did get my shot and got a start and started every single game the rest of that season and then started for 3 seasons after that. So it was a full circle moment because I was between in a couple of weeks I went from I'm probably going to quit after the season into finally getting a shot, and then like a couple weeks after that, I was leading the Pac-12 in batting average, and then I started every game the rest of the year, and then started my junior season, started my senior season, and then it led to me getting an offer to go to Notre Dame for that fifth year. So it was just like grinding through. It was a pivotal 3 week stretch of not giving up and just switching the mindset, and it led to 3 years of awesome experiences and then two more like amazing collegiate degrees that will last me forever. And I'm really glad that I didn't give up. Um, and I'm just, yeah, I'm happy that it worked out the way it did. So yeah, I'd say just the advice would be don't put all your eggs into your performance on the field. Whether it's finding faith, whether it's finding friends outside of sports, finding clubs at school, um, find something else that you're passionate about, not just baseball. Um, I was very quality over quantity in terms of reps off the tee. There's a ton of lessons in life that you just have to embrace the hard work and know that it might not pay off this week, next month, or even this year. Um, and I just think that's super valuable to have. And the failing more than you succeed, it really puts into perspective a lot of things. And you can take that to anything in life and be successful. And that's why a lot of college athletes do so well after sports in their businesses. They know how to grind, they know how to be mentally tough. When they get kicked in the ground, they get back up and they don't run away. I want to say one more thing is
Sure.
looking back on my playing career, I don't remember any of the bad games. I don't remember any strikeouts, any terrible swings I put on balls. The only things I remember are my home runs, my great hits, my great plays in the outfield. Like, so when your players are having these bad games, like just know when it's all said and done, even a couple weeks later, You're not gonna remember it. I